So if you start breathing like the way that I'm going to share with you in this video, you will literally start to activate and awaken your godlike abilities, your godlike superpowers as early as tonight. Now, I'm talking things like your psychic abilities, things like intuition, things like feeling better in the day, more energy, abilities to heal others, heal yourself, and also if you're into lucid dreaming, like I know that you probably are, things like activating your presence, deeper levels of presence in this reality, which then carries on into the dream space for things like activating when you're doing reality checks and ultimately becoming lucid. So a lot of things. Actually, what this video will allow you to do, this type of breathing, is a lot deeper than even the stuff that I'm going to be sharing with you physically. A lot of the things that you're going to be activating and awakening, you will start to notice the effects for yourself. For everybody, it will be different. For you, it will be different to what I experience as well. By the way, this type of breathing technique is not like things like deep belly breathing, diaphragmatic breathing, Wim Hof breathing, holotropic breathing, and all those other like kind of methods that you've probably seen online. This technique is none of that. Actually, I've not really seen anybody sharing this technique online from what I've seen. I actually found out about this technique very synchronistically. Sometimes synchronistic events happen that lead you to something in your life, what you need in that particular moment. And in this moment, it led me to this type of breathing technique. I actually found it in some ancient yogic text where basically it shares the yogic sciences that yogis use to activate their supernatural abilities, their superpowers. And I know I mentioned that this is going to awaken your superpowers and your supernatural abilities. But if I'm just honest with you, just straight from the start, I don't actually refer to these as supernatural abilities. The reason why is because my personal belief, and actually it's not even a belief, it's an experience. My personal experience has been that a lot of these abilities that people will look at and think, oh my gosh, how does that person do that? Or, oh my gosh, I would like to have some psychic abilities like that. Or I would like to be able to perceive the future or manipulate reality and make it happen fast and all these different things. Actually, what I've seen is that these are not supernatural abilities. These are your natural abilities that you have innate, that are within you. The problem is from years of things like societal pressures, conditioning, trauma that may have happened in childhood or even adulthood, things like past life things that may be affecting, so many different factors, right? What happens is these natural abilities that you have start to be suppressed, start to not be activated and awakened in the way that they could be. And maybe some of you have felt this before. Maybe you've experienced things like, if we talk about lucid dreaming, a lot of the times kids, they lucid dream a lot. Then as you get older, this tends to diminish. Sometimes kids even remember having certain abilities, certain things that they could perceive or certain things that they could even remember from past lives, right? And you can experience, this is why I want to share this breathing technique with you today, because then by activating this in yourself, you will start to have these experiences more in your life. So if this is something that you want, then this technique will definitely help you. So let's get into it. Because I know for a fact that if you're watching this, you've probably seen people with psychic abilities, intuition, all these different things being able to manifest. And you probably in the back of your mind wondered like, how can I do that? Or if you can already do some things, how can I tap into it even more? Maybe this person can do it because it's their natural talent. Or maybe they can do it because they're just lucky. Or maybe it's their particular star sign or horoscope or life path number. So that's why they can do it better than me. Or maybe this person just isn't as busy as me in my life and doesn't have as much stress, so they can focus on this in more time. Or maybe they just have some mystical secret. Well, I'm here to share with you, there is a secret. However, it's not so complicated like the way that most people will try and explain it. You see, what I've seen, a big challenge that I see a lot of people face, including myself some time ago as well, is that sometimes you see so many of these things online, different techniques, different things to do to manipulate reality, become more intuitive, heal people, all these sort of things. What I've realized is that a lot of these things are overcomplicating the way that it needs to be. And then what happens is, because it's overcomplicated, you look at it and then forever it's kind of like, you look at something and it seems like some mystical ability that you would like to have, but you never quite attain, and you can't really consistently achieve that thing. But the good news is that stops today, because it's actually quite simple to start awakening these godlike abilities, godlike superpowers, or as I call it, your natural abilities, very simply. But the secret is a breathing technique that is not just a generic one-size-fits-all, hey, you do this, you do this, you do this, and then you're all going to experience these results. Actually, it goes deeper than that. What is required is a technique that is unique to you, unique to your body, your energy system. And the way that we're going to do that is by three things. We need to combine three things in particular to then activate this type of breath work. But I do want to say one thing, disclaimer. I don't want anybody getting false hopes or false claims from here. I want to be very clear from the beginning. This breathing technique, I'm not saying here, notice, I'm not saying in this video that you do this breathing technique once and boom, you activate some superpowers, you become Spider-Man, Superman or whatever, and it just happens once, you don't need to do anything again. This breathing technique that I'm sharing with you is something that will require you to dedicate some time, whether it's 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, depends on how deep you want to go. Because the reality is, okay, I'm not saying that you won't experience anything today, right? I guarantee if you do this technique the way that I'm sharing with you in this video and you give yourself 5, 10, 15 minutes today to try this, you will already start to activate these abilities and start to feel the difference and start to feel something when you're doing this. I'll give you an example. When I first found out about this, I believe the first day that I tried this, oh, by the way, I wasn't even doing it the most in-depth way that I'm going to share with you in this video. I was just doing, I think, 1/3 of what I'm going to share with you here. And already within one day, I was already starting to feel different sensations in the body, right? Now, I know for a fact that these sensations that I was feeling, because I've done deeper breathworks in the past, it's taken me like an hour of solid breathing in a different type of breathing technique to experience this. Not within 5 minutes, not within 10 minutes. The next day, I was even experiencing things like in heart center, feeling heart center being cleared and activated to the point where feeling blissful feeling, just by breathing for 5 and 10 minutes. These are things that, you know, sometimes you hear yogis talk about, that feeling of blissfulness, that state of blissfulness, starting to tap into this, but on a deeper level, not from doing certain long practices, just from this thing that I'm going to share with you here. And not only that, I don't want to give too many examples of what I experienced, because sometimes what I find is if I share with you so many things that, hey, I did this, you're doing the technique, but then you have this expectation. And you know what it's like sometimes when you have extra expectation, you're like, but Josh did this in day one, or Josh did this in day two, or this happened to Josh after 1 week. Then you can kind of play in your mind, and if you don't see the results straight away, then you can kind of get, you feel a bit inside diminished kind of thing. Like you feel like, oh my gosh, why is it not happening for me? But the reality is you will start feeling effects very quickly. But obviously for me personally, I'm doing a lot of different things in the day. In the morning and night, I do different practices. In the day, I'm doing things like what I'm sharing with you here. And also I'm connecting to my higher self very, very frequently. So I do things differently. You may be doing less than me. You may be doing more than me. You may not need to do as much as me. You may not need to do as little as me, for example. So everybody's unique. But this breathing technique will be unique to you. So now that the disclaimer is done, how do we do this? Well, it's very simple. The three main things that it comes down to. The first one is your heartbeat unit. This particular technique is not generic where it says, okay, breathe for 4 seconds, hold for 8, exhale for 12, or do box breathing, inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4. This heartbeat unit will make it unique to you, because everybody starts off at a certain level where you're breathing, maybe most people are breathing very shallowly and breathing in a way which is promoting disease, which is promoting stress, which is promoting the fight and flight. If I was to give you a generic technique, let's say box breathing, or let's say 4, 8, 12, or let's say 4, 7, 8, whatever it is, like inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. This will take your energetic system up a bit in the terms where you're not promoting the stress, you're not feeling as stressed, you're feeling more relaxed, you're feeling more rejuvenated. It's activating the physical system. But that is a generic method. But if we take it a deeper level, where I give you something specific to you, now we can start to not only relax your system, but also amplify the energy that's going on. Because ultimately, any breathing technique you're doing, you're basically manipulating the prana around you. You're bringing more prana into the system and allowing that to amplify. So how can we amplify it the most? So the heartbeat unit, the way that we do this is, first of all, you're going to take your right hand and you're going to put it on your chest. You can do this now. You can put the phone down, just feel your chest. And I want you to just feel your heartbeat. If you can't feel it here, because sometimes people struggle with this, they have no heart. I'm joking. If you can't feel it, I'm not calling you out. But sometimes people can't feel their heart. So you can feel your pulse or somewhere else. Or if that doesn't work, you're going to have to find a machine or something. Something that will get you to feel your pulse. So what you're going to do, let's say I'm doing it now. I'm going to feel my heart and I'm going to count 1 to 6. So you can do this with me. So you're going to count your heartbeats. So it'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You'll keep doing that. My heart's beating very fast. I think it's because I'm speaking to you guys. But so you're gonna feel the heart and you're gonna do 1 to 6. What's gonna happen? You're gonna find a rough rhythm. It's going to be a consistent rhythm. Obviously, certain fluctuations may change when you inhale or even if a thought comes in, but generally you'll find some sort of rhythm of that 1 to 6. Then what you're going to do is you're going to just hold that rhythm, right? So you're going to mentally note that rhythm and you can still keep counting. But for now you can stop, right? This only comes in handy with the second thing that we're going to talk about. So that's your heartbeat unit. You're going to find how quickly your heart is beating. Some days it may be faster, some days it may be slower. A more advanced thing in the future will be you won't even need to feel this. You'll be able to feel inside your body. But that I will cover maybe in a different video if you're interested. So that is the first thing. We're getting our heartbeat unit. I'm going to show you exactly how to use this in a moment, but that's the main thing. You want to count 1 to 6 multiple times, and then that way you have this particular unit that is unique to you that we're going to use in a moment. So what do we use this with? This comes down to the second thing. This comes down to something called the yogi complete breath. This alone is very powerful. Even if we don't do it with the heartbeat unit and we don't do it with the third thing I'm going to cover, this alone is very powerful. This was the thing that I was experiencing results with just by doing the yogi complete breath. So what is this? It's a way of breathing to 1, increase the amount of oxygen that's coming into your lungs, to 2, release more toxins. Because bear in mind, when you're inhaling, there's red blood cells going into the lungs, pulling in the oxygen, taking the oxygen, but also releasing some of the toxic waste that it collects from also around the body. So if we're not breathing properly, what can happen, and what is happening in most people's lives that they don't even realize, and they don't realize it because it takes months, weeks, years, decades before some ramifications happen. But when it happens, it's not the best things health-wise. So what ends up happening for most people, because they're breathing shallowly and not using a lot of their lung capacity, what ends up happening is their blood stays a bit more toxic. This then goes around into the organs. The organs can't release as much waste and it's remaining a bit more toxic than it needs to be. Then over time, these effects can take hold of certain diseases. So this is why this breathing technique that I'm sharing with you right now, I'm speaking very in detailed about the energetic side, okay? In tune with psychic, in tune with intuition, in tune with manifesting and manipulating the reality, becoming more present. But I want you to notice that this isn't just for energy. This also will help your physical body. This is why it helps with energy. This is why it helps with health. Even things like if you're suffering with like a common cold, doing this type of breathing will help you recover quicker. Even more serious things that I definitely cannot say the names of in this video because this platform will probably flag this video. But I know you know what I'm talking about. Even in more serious cases, if you read these yogic sciences, these type of breathing techniques can also, let's just say, help to heal on that journey. Let's just keep it like that. But I know you know what I'm saying here. So this stuff, no, it's not just notice. It's like no, as in not N-O, like K-N-O. You know what I'm talking about. Like this stuff, no. That this is also not just for the energy side, it's also for the physical side. But the reason why, okay, I wasn't going to explain this, but I think it's coming out in flow state now. So the reason why breathing techniques like this work so well is because think about it. Most people's energetic system is here. Their bodies are not getting enough oxygen. Their bodies are in a toxic condition. Their bodies are not living to their greatest potential. So now what happens is just by breathing in this way, you're increasing oxygen, releasing toxins, body's feeling better. Now its cup is more full. Now this energy is overflowing. Whereas before there wasn't even enough energy to properly sustain this vessel. And you know what I'm talking about. People, if you wake up feeling tired, right? You get up, you get a lot of hours sleep, but you wake up still feeling tired. If you have things like brain fog, clarity is not there, motivation is not there. A lot of these things are symptoms. Yes, there are many factors, right? I'm not saying it's all down to this one thing. There are many factors. But this one thing of getting your prana right, getting your energetic system right, will amplify everything. Like remove those things so that now you have this overflowing energy to what? To use for these psychic abilities. If physical is not taken care of, spiritual is not going to be as easily taken care of. You know what it's like? So this is taking care of the physical system so that this energy can overflow into the spiritual system. And these powers, these abilities start to come online. So let me know if that makes sense. So what are we doing here with this yogi complete breath? Most people are breathing through their chest. Then you'll get some people who have learned that breathing through their chest is not the most optimal thing. So they learn to do things like deep belly breathing, diaphragmatic breathing, where when they breathe in, they expand their stomach. To take this from the ground up, just in case you're not aware of diaphragmatic breathing, most people when they breathe through their chest, they're breathing in around 10 to 30% max lung capacity. Very shallow breathing, not really activating the cells down here. When people then learn, oh, hey, if I breathe in from my diaphragm, I can breathe around 60, 70% lung capacity now. Now they're doubling how they're able to breathe and they're feeling better for it. They're noticing the difference. But have you noticed? Here is 10 to 30%. Here is like 50, 60, 70%. But even if you breathe down here, you're still missing 30, 40, 50%. So how can we activate the whole system? Well, you'll get this now. In the yogic system, they talk about the lower lungs, the middle lungs or middle chest, and the upper chest, upper lungs. The way that you do this is very simple. You are going to basically, and actually you can test this now. You've probably done this before, some of you, or if not, then this will be a good thing. If you feel onto your chest and your diaphragm, if you just take a few breaths, breathe in, which one do you notice inflates more, the chest or the diaphragm? Now, actually put it in the comments. I'm actually curious. Put it in the comments. Which one do you feel inflating more, the chest or the diaphragm? If it's chest, okay, this is going to help you a lot. If it's diaphragm, this is still going to help you a lot. So whichever one it is, it will help you this type of breathing. So put it in the comments. And then the way that we do this yogic complete breath, is when you're inhaling. You're going to be inhaling through your nose and it's going to be going straight down into your diaphragm. So just like diaphragmatic breathing, but it doesn't stop there like most people. What you're then going to do is you're going to inhale, keep inhaling, and it's going to be filling the mid chest now. You're going to notice that inflating a bit more. Then it's going to go into the upper chest. When it goes into the upper chest, this is the complete breath. You're using the bottom of your lungs, the middle, and now your upper. When you breathe into the upper, your lower abdomen will go in just slightly. So it's inflated, 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 then it's going to go in just slightly because that will push a bit more air into the upper. So what you'll notice is if you are trying this now while you're watching this, you'll notice that these three sections at first, it will feel a bit jolted because you're probably not used to doing this. It will feel like, okay, I'm breathing into my lower abdomen, I'm breathing into my middle, and now I'm breathing into my upper. That will be the first stage. Actually, as you practice this, the most ideal way to do this is not like that. The most ideal way is just one continuous breath. So you'll notice you'll breathe in through your nose and you'll feel your lower diaphragm. Then you'll feel your middle chest, then you'll feel your upper chest, and it'll be like one complete breath. Where then at that point, you're holding the breath, this bit is slightly in, just very slightly, because it's pushing the air up a bit, and then you hold for 2 to 3 seconds. Once you do that, you're going to exhale through your nose. Slowly exhale through your nose, and as you're exhaling, you're pushing your diaphragm in, so pushing the air out of your lungs. Then once you do that, you relax. Very simple. So this is the yogic complete breath. If you just do this, I'm not even combining it with the heartbeat unit, which I'm going to share with you in a moment. And the third thing, if you just do this, you will notice a dramatic change in your energy. When I do this, I notice that if I close my eyes and do it for like 5 minutes, I open my eyes, boom. The reality is way more clearer. The room, the colors are popping out more. I feel more relaxed, I feel more present, I feel more centered. And then obviously when I was consistently doing this is when I was noticing different things happening, different, let's say, supernatural, or as I say, your natural abilities coming through even more. So that's the second thing. How do we combine it with the first thing? Because remember, this right now is very generic. You breathe in here, you hold for 2-3 seconds, then you exhale through the nose as well, then you relax. How we combine it with the heartbeat unit is, okay, your inhale and exhale, you will choose, at first you'll start with 6 seconds. No, it's not 6 seconds. No, this is not generic. This is unique to you. Not 6 seconds, 6 heartbeat units. So what I mean by that, you will do the yogic complete breath where you'll be inhaling into these 3 sections, but it'll be one continuous breath. As you're inhaling, you inhale for 6 of your heartbeat units. So before you do this, you'll probably feel your heart and get the rhythm, 1 to 6, 1 to 6, 1 to 6. Then you'll feel the rhythm. You can still count if you want. Over time, you won't need to count. You'll just know the rhythm. So you breathe in for 6 of those units. You're going to hold for half of those units. So if you inhale for 6, you'll hold for 3. Then you're going to exhale for 6. So it's 6, 3, 6, 3 it will be. Exhale for 6 heartbeat units, and then you're going to relax for 3 heartbeat units. So notice, the inhale and exhale is always the same amount of time as in your heartbeat units. The hold and the relax is always half of what you inhaled and exhaled. So if it's 6, it's going to be 6, 3, 6, 3. But you combine this with your heartbeat unit, it amplifies. This is where already, just by doing these 2 things, is where we get this breathing technique known as rhythmic breathing. I'm going to mention the third thing in a moment, but before I do, I just want to share with you some things that you can do to take this a bit more advanced. So we started with 6-3-6-3. You can also, over time, build to 8-4-8-4. If you inhale for 8, you hold for 4 heartbeat units, and then exhale for 8 heartbeat units, and then relax for 4 heartbeat units. If I was to say that you could do 12 inhale heartbeat units, how long would you hold for? If you're inhaling for 12 heartbeat units, you'll hold for 6 heartbeat units. Then you'll exhale for 12 heartbeat units, and then you'll relax for 6 heartbeat units. You can go up to 15 heartbeat units, but no more than 15. Just keep it within the range of 6 to 15. That is a good threshold. You'll start with 6. Over time, you can build to 8, to 10, to 12, 14, even 15. Don't push yourself. This is not you trying to hold your breath for as long as possible. Build into it naturally to the point where it starts to feel natural, and it's very easy to do that. But that can be some sessions later. If you want me to do another video on some more specifics like this, because by the way, this rhythmic breathing that I'm sharing with you now is like fundamental. This is not even the most advanced techniques with regards to even increasing your willpower, your nervous system. For those of you who, like myself, I used to be very introverted. I still am introverted actually, but I used to be very shy introverted. There's even breathing techniques that you can do, yogic techniques that you can do to amplify your voice, to make it more powerful, to make it more toned well if you're a singer. There's loads of different things. There's also things for the third thing that I'm going to share with you. So as you can see, this is just like a foundational video. If you are enjoying this sort of concept and you're getting value from it, you're learning something new, make sure to let me know by hitting the like button, and I'll use that as a gauge to see if we want to go any deeper. And you can also leave me a comment too. So that is the heartbeat unit combined with the yogic complete breath. That is what rhythmic breathing is, this breathing technique that I'm sharing with you. This third component that I want to share with you is something to amplify this energy. Because this energy, just by doing rhythmic breathing, will already be amplified. I'll give you an example. It's like, sometimes, like this. Sometimes there's soldiers crossing a bridge, and the commander is saying, hop to, left, right. So they're in sync, right? Left and right is going together. When they cross certain weaker structures or things like bridges, sometimes the commander can give the command to go out of sync. Right? So where some of them will be going left, the others will be going right. The reason why is because in rhythm, notice how powerful rhythm feels. Like if you're listening to a good piece of music and you're in rhythm to it, you're vibing to it, it feels good compared to you not in rhythm, you're just hearing it. When you get in the vibe, you can feel it. And even some of you introverts, I know what you're doing in the showers. You're loving it out there. You might not be dancing in public, but in the shower, you're like flipping Selena Gomez. I don't know why her name came to my mind, but you're like Selena Gomez, something like that. But with these army and these soldiers, when they're crossing the bridge, if they're in rhythm, because it's so powerful, it can actually break the bridge when they're walking across it. So they go off beat to get off sync, and the power is not there. By you breathing the yogi complete breath in your heartbeat unit, in that rhythm, now you're amplifying this ability. So before you even do some energy work, it will amplify. Before you do any manifestation meditation or manifestation practices, it will be amplified. Before you do anything to tap in deeper, like let's say for example, you're nervous about public speaking. You can do this. It will relax your nerves very quickly, very deeply, and it will also amplify your energy. So just by doing the rhythmic breathing, notice that this is an amplifier to anything that you're doing. The third thing that I'm going to share with you is how to take this a lot deeper. This comes from opening up. This third bit is also to do with opening up. The reason why, and most people won't tell you this initially because they'll just say, hey, do this breath work and do this. The reality is, if right now you do this breathing technique, you'll probably see 10, 20, 30, 40, 50% of the benefits. But you're not tapping into the maximum because even though you're doing the complete breath in your heartbeat units, there is still something missing. The something missing is for years, you have been breathing either shallowly or only through chest, or like myself, because before this, I learned about deep belly breathing, diaphragmatic breathing. So what I retrained myself to do was breathe through my diaphragm, only my diaphragm. So I was very strong with, on the inhale, expanding my diaphragm, contracting it on the exhale. But what wasn't strong was my chest. My chest was hardly moving. So it was like boom, like a balloon. Like this was inflating, but this was staying the same. But I wasn't tapping into this other 40, 30, 20, 50% of my lung capacity. So what will happen, depending on how your lungs are, there'll be certain parts. For some of you, right now watching this, it might be easier for the chest to expand. You might feel that moves easily. Or it might feel that stomach might expand easily. What you need to do is open up your rib cage, open up your diaphragm. So the way that you're going to do this, and I hope you've been taking notes so far. If not, you can rewatch the video and take some notes, or maybe some beautiful soul will put it in the comments. But right now with the opening up, there are many different techniques that I could share with you now, but I don't want to overcomplicate it. I don't want to make this video any longer than it needs to be. The very simple one that I want to share with you is practice. Very simple. If you practice this breathing technique, naturally you're going to be focusing, hey, Josh said breathe into my diaphragm, then breathe into my middle chest, then breathe into my upper chest. Simply by practicing, over time, we'll open this up more, so you'll be hitting not just 50% of the benefits, 60%, 75%, 80, 95%. And the final thing on this opening up, what I focus on, because I was struggling a lot, is this concept here. Remember that your lungs are not just inhaling, exhaling. They're working in all different dimensions. You know what I mean? So the way that I was visualizing this was when I was inhaling through my diaphragm, I was, yes, expanding forward, but also expanding to the side. Feeling it expand to the side. It might feel unnatural at first, but over time, this will open up the side parts of your lungs. Also the chest, when I'm filling my chest, I'm feeling my rib cage go to the side, open up to the side. When I'm going up to the top of the chest, and actually this is an important bit of information, some diseases can actually linger in the top of the chest. So by breathing, doing this yogi complete breath, you're actually reducing these toxins up there. So obviously longevity in life and feeling better is all the benefits, as I said earlier. So then in the top of the chest, you can start to expand even more. So this third bit of opening up is simply practice. When you're practicing, don't try and think, how can I get it perfect? Am I doing it right? Do it to the best of your ability. The best of your ability is opening up in all dimensions, forward, also to the side, even backwards. But my main focus is to the side. When I focus onto the side, it opens up a lot more. So that will be what I would say, these three things. The first bit is getting your heartbeat unit, not just doing a generic method of using seconds. We use the heartbeat unit in combination with the yogi complete breath to get something that is called rhythmic breathing, which amplifies your energy, which amplifies your psychic abilities, which amplifies the prana in your system. Because prana, the life force energy, is all around us. The problem is we don't know how to tap into it. And when we become out of sync of nature, we lose all the vitality, all the power, all the energy that comes with nature. So what we're doing now is we're syncing up with it by bringing more prana into our energetic system, storing it in solar plexus, and allowing it to amplify for the needs that we have, for the things that we want to do. As you can see, this video is pretty in detailed, but there is a lot more to this whole thing. So if you are interested in any of the things that I shared in this video and you want more details on it, just leave me a comment and I'll respond to the comment. I do my best to respond to all comments. If it's a comment that you put in there, a question or something that I think is a big topic, that is not just a one comment response, I'll do another video on it. So make sure to ask me any questions. Also, if you like videos like this and you want more videos of this sort of thing on your feed, and this sort of vibe, the Joshua Andre vibe, then make sure to hit the subscribe button if you're new, because then more of these videos will pop up on your feed and you'll have a better life, as you already know. So other than that, enjoy this rhythmic breathing, make sure to practice. The final thing that I will say about this is what I recommend in your first week of doing this is practicing this morning and night, minimum 5 to 10 minutes morning and night. Then it will start to open this up. What I was also doing when I was first practicing this in my first week, I even set an alarm every 1 to 3 hours. If you're more hardcore like me, set it every 1 hour and you have the time, you're not like at work. Well, even if you're at work, you can go to the bathroom for 5 minutes and do this. It will transform your life. Manifestations will happen faster. But what I was doing was setting an alarm every 1 to 2 hours. You can do 1 to 3 hours latest, but some consistent time throughout the day for the first few days. That way, instead of just practicing twice a day, morning and night, you're actually expanding this capacity, tapping into these higher vibrations more consistently. 3, 4, 5, 6 times, 7 times, 8 times in the day. You know what I mean? Maybe even more. So that's what I recommend. Morning and night practicing this. Definitely then. First thing in the morning, not just let me go wake up on my phone, then do it. No. First thing in the morning, just before you go to sleep. And then also, if you're more hardcore like me, every 1 hour set an alarm and go somewhere private and practice this for at least 5 minutes. It doesn't take much. Because this is so powerful, it doesn't take much. You can do 10 minutes, you can do 15, 20 minutes. That's when we start to increase and things happen a lot faster. At minimum, set your alarm for every 3 hours, then at least you're doing it a few times extra in the day. Other than that, let me know how it goes in the comments. Come back when you got your superpowers. But come back and let me know in the comments how you feel after your first day. Then over time, when these abilities start to awaken, make sure to come back. Let other people know what's happening in your life. Sending you much love, and I'll see you in the next video.